Hello, everyone, and welcome to Observations from the Fence Post. Today we'll be doing a comic book review of Batman Detective Comics, issue 1066. Alrighty, this issue contains two stories. The main story continues the Gotham Nocturne story arc, and it is titled Gotham Nocturne, Act 2, Something in the Way, Part 1. It is written by Ram V. We got some new artists on this particular part of the arc, with Ivan Reis doing penciling and David Meekie doing the inks, and Dave Stewart as colorist. The second story in the book is A Tale of Three Halves, Part 2, and it is continued by the same people that did Part 1. Writer is Simon Spurrier, who also wrote the Coda story arc. And the artist is Hayden Sherman, and the colorist is Nick Filardi. So that is the people involved in the making of the book. So let's look at the stories. So Gotham Nocturne, Act 2, Something in the Way, Part 1, is the main story. And it picks up pretty much right after the previous issue ended. And what happened, we do need to look at that issue. What happened in that issue is the end came down to a showdown between the League of Assassins and the Orgham family, who was coming to Gotham. The League of Assassins had a plan to assassinate Prince Arzan Orgham, and that resulted in a showdown in the previous issue. Of course, Batman interferes in this showdown and is able to stop the assassination. During this fight, he has a big fight and conflict with a particular member of the League of Assassins named Ubu, U-B-U, Ubu. And it's a pretty serious fight, and both of them wind up falling into the waters of Gotham Bay, where they continue to fight, and both are kind of knocked out, if you will. And anyway, at the end of the last issue, Batman is pulled out of the Gotham Bay by none other than Jim Gordon and the strange young man that seems to have supernatural powers that we met in the Coda arc. So that is how the last issue ends. So this issue picks up with Bruce Wayne and Batman waking up in Jim Gordon's home. And Jim brings them up to speed that Prince Arzan Orgham is indeed alive and well, and they are giving credit to Batman for saving his life. But Batman is interested in, he wants to know still what is going on between the League of Assassins and the Orgham family. So he leaves Commissioner Gordon's place to do more research into that. Story then picks up with Harvey Dent, who is making sure that Gotham knows that he is still a criminal to be reckoned with as Two-Face. Of course, a lot of this is being influenced by the voice of Two-Face in Harvey's head and the chemical that he was exposed to by Gael Tenclaw. That chemical is having a huge effect on Harvey, and if you remember, the chemical is called Asmer, and that's having a big effect with Gael being able to kind of manipulate Harvey into doing things that he wants. So we kind of pick up with Harvey's storyline and Gael Tenclaw, who represents the Orgham family in Gotham before they even came. And if you remember, Gael is also a werewolf. And he and Harvey are now talking about power stations of Gotham. Okay. We then go back to Bruce Wayne, and he meets Prince Arzan Orgham in public. Of course, the press is very interested and always interested in Bruce, but is also following Prince Arzan to see what the Orgham family's plans are now that they are involved with land and the old site of Arkham Asylum. So during this public press meeting, Arzan Orgham takes the time to meet Bruce Wayne and tells him that his intentions are indeed to help Gotham, which, that's something that appeals to Bruce. But Bruce, as Batman, is continuing to do detective work. And guess what? It leads him to a power station. And at this power station, going to kind of end that review of that storyline there, because one thing I can say is in the rest of the story, we get to see an old Batham villain pop up. So it's getting more and more interesting. What is the Oregon family's final goal? What is the League Assassin's final goal? And how are all these players falling into play? So that is the main story of Detective Comics 1066. The second story, A Tale of Three Halves, picks up again. It's part 2 of 3, and it picks up right where part 1 left off. And in part 1, Gail Tenclaw has ordered Harvey to kill his old psychiatrist. Of course, Harvey doesn't want to do this, but the voice of Two-Face is whispering that he can take care of it. So anyway, Harvey winds up at the office of his psychiatrist, and there is an interruption by none other than our strange young man with supernatural powers that we met in Coda. So that sets up part 2, A Tale of Three Halves, part 2. So that is the overall review. Again, this is a good arc. It's fun. We get some good Batman detective work. We're getting a rogues gallery of some of Batman's villains, and of course we don't know where this is quite going just yet. So I do these reviews to encourage reading of all kinds. This is some good graphic work. Since we got some new artists, this is some of the artwork from Something in the Way, Part 1. And then here is some of the artwork in just very, very vibrant artwork for A Tale of Three Halves. So comics is a visual medium, so you want to enjoy both the story and the art, and that's where we are. So thank you for joining me again. You can find these in single issues at your local comic book store, or eventually Detective DC, the company DC, will publish these in kind of trade formats where you can get multiple issues under a paperback or hardback copy. So anyway, I do like this arc. I do recommend it. And thank you for joining me. And I hope everyone has a great day. Remember, keep it between the ditches, and peace.